A very pleasant morning to everyone gathered here. And we, St. Aloysius Anglican High School, the management extends a warm welcome to the Frank Anthony Memorial Debate Competition. So our school is glad indeed to host this great event in our institution. Now I take this opportunity to introduce and welcome our judges, Mrs. Sathyarani, the English HOD of our school, and Mrs. Andrea Shipman, the English department, and Mrs. Jacinta, the English department of our school. Now I extend a warm welcome to the participants of the day. So welcome you with full and great hearts. As we have the custom of reading up the life of late Mr. Frank Anthony at every moment, so here we go. Mr. Frank Anthony was a many-faceted person, educationist, lawyer, parliamentarian, and prominent leader of the Anglo-Indian community. He was born in Jabalpur on 25th September 1908. He was educated at Nagpur University, where he received the Viceroy's Gold Medal. He then went on to study law at the Inner Temple in England, from where he was called to the bar. On his return to India, Mr. Anthony successfully fought many legal battles, especially safeguarding the rights of minorities. His most significant contribution was in the field of education. In 1942, he was elected chairman of the Interstate Board for Anglo-Indian Education. As an educationist, Mr. Anthony is best remembered for his proposal to establish an alternate board to the senior Cambridge examination. Thus, the Council for the Indian School Certificate Examinations came into being. Mr. Anthony was, in fact, the founder chairman of the Council for the Indian School Certificate Examinations from 1958 to 1993. He also founded the All India Anglo-Indian Education Institution, which administers schools named after him in New Delhi, Kolkata, and Bangalore. As a prominent leader of the Anglo-Indian community, Mr. Anthony was President-in-Chief of the All India Anglo-Indian Association from 1942 till his demise in 1993. It was due to his efforts that the leaders of post-independent India made special provisions to reserve 2 seats for the Anglo-Indian community in the Lok Sabha and 1 each in some of the state legislative assemblies. Mr. Anthony was a member of the Constituent Assembly and the drafting committee and was entrusted with the task of writing a new constitution of Free India. His seminal book, Britain's Betrayal in India, the story of the Anglo-Indian community, is an excellent chronicle of the Anglo-Indian community, the struggles and challenges it faced in pre-independent India and in free India. He was nominated as a representative of the Anglo-Indian community in the Lok Sabha from the 1st to 10th, except the 6th and 9th Lok Sabhas. This annual debate competition has thus been appropriately named after Mr. Frank Anthony. He was an eloquent speaker, and his spirited arguments during his legal battles, his speeches in Parliament, and his writings are memorable. So here I'd like to remind you about the rules of the debate competition. So I know very well that you are well aware of the rules and regulations. So once again, I would like to remind you. So you are not supposed to display or reveal your school name, and you will be termed as Team A and B. The using of electronic gadgets are not allowed. Once the topic is revealed or displayed, so no use of gadgets while you prepare for the competition. So each team can decide who will speak for the proposition and for the opposition. So each speaker will be given 4 minutes to speak. A bell will be rung at the end of 3 minutes to indicate that only one more minute is left for the speaker to wind up his or her debate. Another bell will be rung at the end of the 4th minute. After every speaker finishes his or her debate, 2 minutes will be allowed for rebuttal. This rebuttal will be in the form of a short and precise questions asked by the members of the competing teams on the content of the speaker's presentation. So the criteria for this competition of giving the marks is for the content 15 marks, and for the rebuttal 10 marks, and for the appropriateness of language 10 marks, and for delivery 10 marks, and for the voice and stance 5 marks. During the rebuttal time, once the speaker completes his speech, if there is no one to ask any questions, the speaker will get the full marks, that's 10 marks. So otherwise, so based on his explanation and how he tries to argue, defend himself, so based on that, the judges will allow the marks. So that you should know very well. The announcement of the topic for today's competition is urban living a major risk factor for mental health challenges. Is urban living a major risk factor for mental health challenges? Is the topic for today's competition. If you want more down, please. Is the topic clear? And again we will meet at 11. So 1 hour you are given for preparation. So at 11 o'clock we will come back here and we will start our competition. I request from Team A, stage R3 to come forward. I starts now.
Good morning, respected judges, teachers, and my fellow debaters. I am Ravitri Chikala of Standard 12, and I'm here to speak for the motion, Is Urban Living a Major Risk Factor of Mental Health Challenges? As students and in general, urban life has given us many advantages. We have a quicker and easier way of living, and everything is at our fingertips. But we should also realize that this way of living is the major cause of mental health challenges. Let me demonstrate how. Students in this day and age are judged based on their marks, their scores, and their ranks instead of their merits and skills. Now, why is this happening? This is happening because we live in a generation where every choice we make, every decision we make is a competition, is a race, where you don't have a scope to make mistakes, where if you make a mistake, you fall behind in the race, you don't get a good score, you don't get good seats, and ultimately it affects your future. Parents also have this way of pressurizing children and comparing them to other kids, saying, why are you not like that child, why do you not get more marks? But this ultimately throws students into depression, anxiety and into stress. Now let me tell you the routine of an average student in this generation. We wake up in the morning, go to school, come back, have 30-35 minutes rest and then go back to coaching and tuition centers, come back, do school homework and then sleep. Now in this whole routine, where is the time for a child to spend quality time with their family, open up, talk about their feelings, if they're stressed or they're depressed, how will they talk about it to their parents if their whole day is scheduled and jam-packed? Now, exams are not only the factor in urban living which affects mental health, social media is also one prominent factor. Initially, social media was introduced to act as a platform for people across the globe to interact, to connect. But these days, social media has become a platform where people are, validated or gratified. Students or teenagers, especially these days, go on social media thinking that strangers' likes and shares show gratification or validation, but they don't realize that this is a very wrong way of thinking. Now, if students are validated on social media, then what is the point of having teachers and parents? We can also say that social media is also becoming one factor of cyberbullying, which is also throwing students into stress and anxiety. Now, if students are in this age and generation where they're very open, but they're also victims of cyberbullying, stress, and all of it, where is the time for them to make mistakes, learn from their mistakes? So my ultimate conclusion is every student should slow down, think, make mistakes, connect with your family, talk about your feelings, and that will ultimately make your life less stressful and probably you won't go into depression. Thank you.
Thank you, Aditri. You have spoken for 3 minutes and 41 seconds. Now I call upon Aditri Chaurasia to speak against the proposition.
Everyone's well is the essence of a human being. Mental health is a quality or an essence which is inhabited by a human being. You cannot point it out on a city. So what, or urbanization, what would you say of it?
First of all, I'm not blaming a city for a person's mental health. What I'm saying is because of the intense competition that is being forced upon a student, that is leading ultimately to depression and stress. Now, people generally don't have depression, stress and anxiety. That is fostered into a child who is put in an environment where there is like fierce competition, where there is no exit and no way for him or her to vent out his emotions. So that is what causes stress, depression and anxiety and all of these mental challenges.
Thank you. The speakers to maintain the distance between you and the mic before it's coming. So now I request Aditi Chaurasia to come forward, who speaks for against the proposition. Can I?
A very good morning to the esteemed panel of judges, respected teachers present here, and my fellow debaters. I am Aditi Chaurasia representing Team A, and today I stand before you to speak against the motion, is urban living a major risk towards mental health challenges? Mental health challenge refers to any sort of pain or agony in our minds, something that makes us restless and discomfort. It's not something which has been developed due to an urban lifestyle. Urban lifestyle is all about using technology and advancement to make life simpler and easier and develop oneself to become a better version about themselves. It's not about pressurizing someone, exposing them to competition or comparison. I believe comparison is the major cause of mental health challenge, and comparison exists everywhere, anywhere. It can come through peers, it can come through friends. One can feel low about themselves, their confidence, or their looks with respect to a person sitting next to them too, which can exist at any given time, at any given place. If anything, then urban living has made people more vocal about their problems. It is not that it has created mental health challenges. It is something that existed long ago. But years ago, people laughed at it. People ridiculed someone for facing challenges mentally, regarded them as mentally unstable, and left them alone to suffer year after year. But this modern lifestyle has made people aware that mental health is just as important as physical health. A mental injury may not be visible like a physical injury upon which one can apply medicines or band-aid, but it pains just as much. Maybe even more because the people around you cannot realize that you are hurt and you are in need of help. In this modern era, we have many drives which are conducted. There are many people who have faced such mental health challenges and are now vocal about it. They share their experience. They guide people as to how they can face these challenges. Mental health is about how an individual shapes their mindset in order to make sure that their mental peace doesn't get disturbed by temporary habits or temporary changes that they come around. It's about the individual's choice of making themselves and their minds strong enough to face any challenge. In conclusion, I would like to say that one's mental peace lies in their own hands. It's about them and their strength, which comes through development. It's okay to feel low, it's okay to feel bad, but it's about how you come out of it. And that is something which people now are encouraging others to do. It cannot be pinned down upon the kind of lifestyle one lives. Thank you.
I would like to ask a question. So while you were telling your speech, you mentioned that social media is a place where it spreads awareness that mental health is as important as physical health. But what if a person, a normal teenager, when he faces cyberstalking, bullying, when he faces fat shaming, and also people judging and measuring their worthiness in life? So where does the person go when he's facing such criticisms from social media? Doesn't the person want to come to a human where the person understands? I would love to know your opinion on that.
Well, I appreciate the question put forward by my fellow debater. So as my fellow debater mentioned that when a person is faced by such cyberbullying or attacks online, they want to come towards a person and share their problems. Well, years ago, long ago, like cyberbullying or fat shaming is not something which exists only on social media. It's something which is a part of our society, and it depends upon how one has been brought up, the values they have inculcated. So it exists both online and offline also. But years ago, when we used to talk about it, about not feeling confident enough, people would laugh at you. They would regard it as something normal. They would tell you it's just a joke, take it lightly. Friends tease, there is nothing big about it. But now people have grown aware. They understand that this kind of teasing about one's personality or one's body is not something which can be taken lightly. People realize that it can affect one's mental health, and therefore it shows you that urban living has transformed people's mindset.
Thank you, Aditi.
Thank you, Aditi. You have spoken for 3 minutes and 27 seconds. Now, from Team B, I call on Jaskaran Singh, who speaks for the proposition.
M.K. Gandhiji once said that the future depends on what we do today. The future of our generation and the upcoming generations depends and is in our hands. And what necessary actions as the future generation we take to stop this. A very good morning to the respected judges, teachers, my fellow debater, and my worthy opponent. I am Jaskaran Singh, representing Team A, and I am speaking for the motion that is urban living a major risk factor for mental health challenges? And I rise strongly. It is very important for us humans to know that mental health is one of the major crises that is going on in today's world. And a person at this time wants another person, a genuine friend or a parent who listens to him or her problems and acts as an ear and hears out. Before we declare that urban living is a major risk factor for mental health challenges, I would like to ask you all one very simple yet important question. When we feel jittery about something, or we are worried about something, or something is bothering us, at this time, all a human wants is another person, a genuine ear, who listens to him, who understands him, and do not judge him. But at this time, where social media platforms, there are social media is filled with people who are ready to judge you, who are ready to measure you in likes, your worthiness in likes, who are ready to taunt you, who are ready to troll you on Instagram and other such social media platforms. And at this time, where does a person expects to go? A person expects to go to a person who listens to him and understands him. Hercules once said that the only constant of life is change. But let us ask ourselves one important question. What good is the change if it is tearing apart the social fabric between the families, within the families? People in today's world, according to the research that was recently conducted, people tend to go to AI apps like ChatGPT, Gemini, etc. To make them as their best friends. They share their secrets, personal information, and other things which are not nice, which is not a safe thing. Because it is very easy because they don't know that such apps are storing your information and easily a hacker can see your information and throw you on Instagram. And ChatGPT and other AI apps don't even have empathy. It is very important for us to understand that. The depthness of conversations that we have with the family in today's world at dinner tables or tea time has been significantly reduced. People all are worried about likes. They are on Instagram, they are worried to increase likes, subscribers on social media platforms like Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter, and so on. But what people don't understand, that at the end, we all want is a human who understands us. And with conviction and confidence, I firmly stand for the notion that is urban living a major risk factor for mental health challenge. Thank you.
In the speech you gave, the entirety of your speech is only about how people are not aware of the harm you get of using social media. But I don't see how you related your speech to mental health challenges. The majority of your speech is only how people should be aware that there's cyberbullying and stuff on social media. But how does it affect a person? I don't see in your speech. What would you like to say?
Okay, so answering this question, thank you. So I would like to say that at this time, there's a lot of competition. AI is taking all of our jobs, and people with different abilities and different strengths and different interests find it very difficult to be involved in a group. So at this time, people face such kind of bullying, crisis, it leads to depression, OCD, anxiety, etc. And at this time, all what people think about is how we can improve ourselves. And when this thing occurs, these things are very common, especially in social media. So I personally feel that a person who has a genuine friend who listens to and understands them and don't judge them is the greatest gift, I would say. Thank you.
Can I ask a follow-up?
Well, I presume you were speaking for the motion, that is, urban living is a major risk factor for mental health challenges. Do you regard social media as a component of urban living?
As a component?
As a part of urban living? Does
Yes,
urban-
I do feel, yes, definitely social media is a part of the urban.
So when you mention that due to social media one gets trolled and they are facing bullying and all of this stuff, so how are you supporting your stance that urban living does not have? Okay, so when you mention that social media is affecting one person, bullying, all this stuff, then how do you consider that urban living is promoting towards mental health through that?
See, in urban living, main thing is that right now everyone is just engrossed in, likes, increasing their likes or subscribers on YouTube. And especially the working parents, they don't have enough time. All they want is the perfect match. It is very hard to satisfy parents. And Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, they increase the competition, I feel.
They increase the competition or do they make you aware of the competition around you?
They, no doubt they make you aware, but I personally feel that they also increase the competition when you have people filled in social media who are ready to taunt you, troll you, and put you down.
So when there are people who are ready to put you down, there are also people who share advice of as to how a better lifestyle or how they can take these positive ways.
Jasper Singh, and he has spoken for 4 minutes and 5 seconds. Now I call upon from Team B, Decorative Rosalie, who speaks against the proposition.
Good morning, esteemed judges, dignitaries, my fellow competitors, and everyone present here. Today, I aimlessly stand before you to speak my stance against the notion. So what is urbanization, or how did this term urbanization has evolved? Let's be honest, it's our choice. This is a nation that we live in is urbanized because we want a developed or a developing country, and that's the sole reason we chose for urbanization. And how does it actually affect our mental health? I believe that it truly doesn't affect, but it makes us aware of our mental health. You see, let's imagine I walk up to my parent and ask my dad or my mother, how's your mental health, or what's the state of your mental condition? They'll just reply, why do you care about your mental health? They don't even consider it as an important factor or a vital role that plays in their human being. You see, health is extremely important, but mental health is the vital emotion that makes us as a human being. We tend to forget that each one of us comes with an emotional baggage. We have different views, we have different opinions, and we are always scrutinized and judged for everything that we do. So how does this mental health or urbanization throw light on topics such as depression, anxiety, peer pressure, and many more other stuff? It genuinely creates an atmosphere where people can actually talk and tell to one another that, see, I'm facing this anxiety. Because if you go up and talk to your parents or they might just ignore and be like, no, mental health doesn't even play a vital role in your entire living being. I believe that urbanization has made us aware of what we want, what we are individually and personally. And it is just shaping us rather than just stunting our growth. Because most of us are scared, our fear, our anxiety can never talk. But through urbanization, we have recognized that everybody goes through this and it's not you alone in this battle. So I tell my staff that urbanization did not affect our mental health, but it has shaped us and thrown light on significant other topics that we aren't ready to discuss in this generation today. It's not the cities that we live in, it's our human physical appearance or it's our human mental health, mental status that defines the different challenges that we go through. We can never tell that urbanization or ruralization was the cause or it affects how a person's mental health changes in a day-to-day basis. Thank you.
In your speech, you mentioned that in this generation, people have been made more aware of mental health. So, what is your opinion on students being pressurized into this competitive world where they're judged on their marks and scores, and if they voice out that they're feeling stressed or depressed about their marks, they're told that without exams, students will just become lazy and they won't study. So, what is your opinion on that?
That's why in the organization we have started taking therapy and we started consulting and we started taking it as a general problem rather than just discarding it. Because if our parents walked up to their parents and said like, I can't do all of this examination because it's pressurizing, it's overwhelming me and it's a rat race, they would just be like, no, just get into the flow. It's a world, it's a competitive world, you should get it. But now there are a number of therapists available for you to speak up and to share that will probably decrease the amount of overwhelming or the number of feelings and emotions that you're going through.
You mentioned in the beginning of your speech that urbanization is required for development. It's for the development of the state, which will occur due to the future citizens, which are we, the students, who have become prone to numerous mental health challenges as a result of social media availability and all this stuff. How far do you believe that development in the like this bullying in the name of development is actually feasible? Is it okay to actually play with a child's mental health in the name of development? Why is anyone not taking a stricter action towards cyberbullying and stuff?
They are do taking, thank you so much for the question. They are do taking serious orders or restrictions on the fact that people are getting bullied on social media. There are a number of acts being involved, and there are a number of acts being the people being educated about it, and there are a number of acts being implemented for the person not to get bullied and cyberbullying and stuff.
Okay, thank you. There are no speaking. Now with this, all the speakers of the day have finished their speeches on the topic. So my apology for the delay. So we have the results here. Our judges have done their best. So now I call upon all the participants to come forward one by one to receive your participation certificate. First I call CH Aditya from Team A. Technoveteran Rosemary. Proceeding to the best speaker and the first runner-up speaker. The first runner-up speaker is CH Aditri. The best speaker of the day is Aditi Chaurasia. Now the winning team. Team A is the winning team, and I request all the participants to come forward and receive your certificates.